My name is Elena Lee, and I am the Undersecretary General of Crisis Committees here at Wyman.
Molly, you're recognized.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The delegation of Molly firmly
Never.
believes that...
As you can see, Crisis is a unique, fast-paced committee style that is perfect for delegates interested in a fun, challenging model UN experience. Delegates at Crisis are usually more experienced to keep up with the speed and style of the committee, but don't let that discourage you for trying out. In fact, the fast-paced fun of Crisis works great for people who are also very creative and can think on their feet. Especially with the dynamic topics you'll be dealing with, having the ability to think of fun and interesting ways to incorporate your crisis arc to the larger debate is crucial. So what are some typical crisis topics? Crisis topics are often historical events that involve important political figures. The progress of committee is directly affected by the decisions you make, and the final outcome may differ with what actually happened historically. Crisis topics can also be future events in which delegates had the freedom to create their own history. So parliamentary procedure and crisis can run a little differently usually. Crisis committees tend themselves to be very fun and energetic, partly because of its flexibility with parliamentary procedure. In fact, committee chairs and delegates may decide to deviate away from parliamentary procedure or Parli-Pro depending on the crisis or debate at hand. If you're ever confused or unsure about parliamentary procedure or how your crisis debate is structured, make sure to communicate that with your chair, with your crisis chair, who would be more than willing to help out in any situation. And one of the most important parts of crisis is crisis notes. Throughout the committee, you will be exchanging crisis notes with the crisis room. A crisis note is a line of communication between you and the crisis room. In crisis notes, you can ask the crisis room about your capabilities while also progressing your own personal crisis arc. Notes to the crisis room can help you achieve your position's individual goals in addition to influencing the other delegates in the room. Directives in crisis are also very crucial and can be an extremely beneficial strategic tool when used in committee. In crisis, there are two types of directives, personal and committee. Personal directives are those written and agreed upon in private between yourself and another delegate. Committee directives are the directives you write and pass around to the whole committee to get their approval, which requires the consensus of your committee to succeed. Balancing both personal and committee directives is really important because you don't want to use too many committee directives to expose your crisis arc or too many personal directives to lose contact with the front of the room. Make sure you are building those connections with other delegates throughout your personal directives, but also staying active in the front room debates with committee directives. And lastly, just for a couple of tips on how to do well in crisis committee. As I said before, crisis committees are very fast-paced, so thinking on your feet is really important. Throughout committee, you'll be speaking a lot more than you would in a GA. Just be confident and believe in the point you're making. Thoroughly researching your position before coming to Wyman will make your crisis committee experience even better. Trust me. Any kind of delegate can really thrive in crisis if they just put themselves out there and throw themselves into the crisis arc.